When Paralympics came around, it was one of those things where it's like, I want to do that, I can do that, but how can I get there? How can this be?
I'm about to tell you something that's going to make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's a truth that needs to be said.
The most spectacular Paralympic Games ever!
Here's what's really going to blow your mind. Something that's going to prove Asia is sitting on untapped Paralympic potential that nobody sees coming. Right now, as I speak, there are millions of people with disabilities across Asia who have been written off, dismissed, told their lesson, and society is dead wrong about them.
It was an amazing atmosphere and an amazing opportunity, and it was just a great games.
Research shows that mental factors account for about 23% of an athlete's performance. And for Paralympic athletes, this percentage is likely higher given their unique characteristics. Paralympic athletes aren't just dealing with the same training pressures as everyone else. They're navigating a whole extra layer of challenges that most athletes never face. And trust me, after working with Olympic champions, I can tell you this. You have no idea what's coming. Today, I'm announcing my boldest mission yet with the International Paralympic Committee. I'm on a new mission that's going to unlock talent that has been hiding in plain sight across Asia. But here's where this gets really interesting.
I wanted to be the first and only totally blind athlete under 11 seconds. I'm now the first. It gives me a feeling of, accomplishment in the sense of, hey, I was the first one to show these guys and let them know and let anybody know that comes after me that it's possible.
Lynn Hazel Calawod, an Australian licensed occupational therapist, brings over a decade of expertise in brain rehabilitation, mental health, cognitive behavioral therapy, nutrition, and apex physical fitness. Hazel is the only Filipino in the world who is a Harvard-certified human factors specialist, an MIT data scientist, and sports therapist who coached an athlete to multiple Olympic gold medals, having driven Carlos Yulo to achieve his peak potential.
Hey there, peanut friends. I really am appreciative that you're watching all our videos here at PGMN. Well, if you want to stay updated, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Hey champions, welcome back to another episode of PGMN. I'm your anchor, Hazel Calawod, and oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how incredible it feels to be back with you all. I know, I've been MIA for months, and some of you have been sliding into my DMs asking where the heck I disappeared to. Well, here's the tea. I've been in Rome, Italy, grinding through a master's in sports and lifestyle management, and let me just say, my mind has been completely blown by what I've learned about the future of human performance. But more importantly, how have you been? Have you been crushing your health goals? Are you still applying those nutrition strategies and building those meaningful social connections we dove deep into our previous episodes? Drop a comment and let me know what you've been up to because I've missed this community so much. Now, I'm back with some absolutely mind-blowing news that's going to change everything you think about sports, human potential, and what it's possible when we stop limiting ourselves. And trust me, what I'm about to share with you is going to make you question everything society has told us about limitations. So, buckle up because I'm about to tell you something that's going to make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's a truth that needs to be said. Right now, as I speak, there are millions of people with disabilities across Asia who have been written off, dismissed, told their lesson, and society is dead wrong about them. But here's what's really going to blow your mind. I just spent the last year revolutionizing how we approach elite athletic training at the Olympic level. And now I'm about to prove that Paralympic athletes aren't just equal to Olympic athletes. They're going to surpass them in ways that will change how the world sees human potential forever. For those who don't know me, I'm a sports occupational therapist and data science professional who spent the past year pulling off something most people said was impossible: developing revolutionary training systems that seamlessly integrated neuroscience, biomechanics, and mental performance with this level of precision and depth at the Olympic level. And I did it solo. While others were using traditional methods, I was busy creating protocols that would fundamentally change how we understand human performance optimization. But here's the thing that nobody talks about: the research that shows that inclusive sport training doesn't just benefit athletes with disabilities, it enhances fitness and social inclusion for everyone. We're not talking about charity here, we're talking about performance optimization that makes the entire sporting ecosystem better. Today, I'm announcing my boldest mission yet, something that's going to prove Asia is sitting on untapped Paralympic potential that nobody sees coming. I've been appointed as the regional expert for Asia with the International Paralympic Committee, and I'm about to spend the next 4 years working with 8 to 10 national Paralympic committees across Asia to prepare for the LA 2028 Paralympics.
It was a very long call. They were starving for love, and we gave them the love, and Casey, you and everybody else have done a fantastic job. We got the Olympics to come to Los Angeles, and that was a big moment, and we knew it right away. They really, they were fantastic people that I dealt with, but because of your dedication and hard work, the United States will once again proudly host the Olympic Games. How exciting is that?
And let me be clear, crystal clear about what this means. I'm not just preparing para athletes. I will help build ecosystems that's going to make elite Paralympic sport accessible to millions of people with disabilities who've been overlooked and underestimated. I'm on a new mission that's going to unlock talent that has been hiding in plain sight across Asia. The research is crystal clear. When people with disabilities participate in sports and cultural activities, their physical and mental health improves dramatically. But here's what caught my attention. While all the able-bodied sports world is getting more expensive and exclusive, Paralympic sports are actively designed to promote well-being and create positive participation experiences. Think about that for a second. While able-bodied sports are becoming increasingly exclusive, expensive, and elitist, Paralympic sports are creating the most inclusive, transformative, and mentally resilient athletes on this planet. The research shows that the benefits to psychological well-being in parasport include increased self-confidence and self-discipline, as well as the development of transferable psychosocial skills such as resilience and motivation. These aren't just athletes, they're becoming superhuman in ways that transcend physical performance. Look, I've worked with all kinds of athletes, but I've always had deep respect for people with disabilities and their families. I see the daily navigation, the problem solving, the sheer determination it takes to move through a world that wasn't designed for them. That kind of life experience, it builds mental toughness that most people never develop. But here's where this gets really interesting. Asia is sitting on the biggest untapped talent pool in Paralympic history. At Paris 2024, we saw a record of 169 delegations compete, with China topping the medals table with 282 athletes. China alone brought more athletes than most continents combined. But that's just the beginning. The Asian Para Games are described as the second largest multi-sport event after the Paralympic Games, with 44 nations participating throughout its history. We're talking about billions of people across diverse cultures, economies, and sporting traditions. Here's what most people don't understand about Paralympic sports. They are not adapted versions of real sports. They're actually more often technically demanding, more mentally challenging, and more strategically complex than their Olympic counterparts. Data shows that 47% of students with special educational needs and disabilities now achieve 20 active minutes per day compared to 39% before inclusive programs started. But here's the kicker. Disabled children are twice as likely to be lonely compared to their non-disabled peers. But sports participation completely changes this dynamic. This time, I'm not just changing athletic performance. I'll have the opportunity to literally rewire human potential and social integration on a massive scale.
Yes, I can. Take a look. What do you see?
Thank you, International Paralympic Committee, for entrusting me with this task. Now, let me drop some truth bombs about mental health that's going to make you rethink everything. Research shows that mental factors account for about 23% of an athlete's performance. And for Paralympic athletes, this percentage is likely higher given their unique characteristics. Paralympic athletes aren't just dealing with the same training pressures as everyone else. They're navigating a whole extra layer of challenges that most athletes never face. And guess what? Instead of breaking them, it's turning them into mental warriors with psychological tools that make the rest of us look amateurs. They're not overcoming anything. They're weaponizing their unique life experiences into superhuman mental toughness that gives them an edge most people don't even know exists. Sports tend to calm the mind, improve overall well-being, and offer fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression, making for more relaxed beings. Paralympic athletes aren't just competing, they're proving that different doesn't mean deficient. Now, here's where this story gets explosive. LA 2028 will be the first time that Los Angeles will be hosting the Paralympics, scheduled for August 15 to 27, 2028, with plans for the first energy positive games. They're not just hosting a competition, they're creating a platform for global transformation.
Good job. I'll now sign a document pledging the federal government's total support of LA in hosting the 2028 Olympics. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The games will feature a record focus on gender balance, with 17 out of 23 sports achieving full gender parity, and the debut of paraclimbing as a new event. This isn't evolution, it's revolution. As someone who's worked with Olympic champions and now stepping into the Paralympic world, I can tell you this. The gap between the Olympic and Paralympic performance is closing rapidly. And in some cases, Paralympic athletes are setting standards that able-bodied athletes cannot match. My job over the next 4 years isn't just to help Asian national Paralympic committees develop their programs. It's to build a systematic approach that creates not just medal winners, but ambassadors who will change how society views human potential. And look, if you know anything about me, you know I'm absolutely nerdy with creating systems that actually work. This is exactly the kind of challenge that gets me fired up. Here's what everyone's missing. Paralympic sports aren't about overcoming limitations. They're about discovering capabilities that most people don't even know exist. Paralympic sport acts as an agent for change to break down social barriers of discrimination for persons with an impairment. Every time a Paralympic athlete competes, they're not just representing their country. They're proving that human potential has no ceiling when you combine the right mindset, training, and support systems. And honestly, this is where I get genuinely excited about what's ahead. I want to see what happens when we give kids born with disabilities access to elite sport from day one. I want to witness adults discovering movement and competition for the first time and watching the whole world shift. As an occupational therapist, I've seen firsthand how sports can completely transform someone's life. The joy, the grit, the sense of honor and integrity that comes from pushing your limits and belonging to something bigger than yourself. But here's what really gets me. It's not just the athlete who changes. I've watched families heal, dynamics shift, confidence rebuild across the entire household. Sports has this almost magical ability to ripple transformation through generations. So, here's what I'm genuinely curious about as I step into this massive challenge with the International Paralympic Committee. Will I actually pull this off? Can I take everything I've learned about performance optimization and human potential and successfully revolutionize parasports ecosystems across an entire continent? Will the systems I'm about to build actually transform how Asia approaches Paralympic development, or am I biting off more than I can chew? Honestly, I have no idea what the next 4 years will bring, but I'm fascinated to find out what's possible when you combine scientific innovation with untapped human potential on this scale. Asia has the talent, the diversity, and the hunger to dominate LA 2028 in ways that will shock the world. And I'm going to be right there in the middle of it, applying everything I learned from Olympic gold medal training to try to create Paralympic champions who will redefine what's possible. The next 4 years aren't just about preparing for LA 2028. They're about proving that when you combine scientific training methods with unlimited human potential, you don't just change sports, you change society. Paralympic athletes don't need your pity or inspiration. They need your respect, your investment, and your recognition that they're about to show the world what peak human performance actually looks like. And trust me, after working with Olympic champions, I can tell you this: you have no idea what's coming. The revolution starts now. Welcome to the future of human performance. I'm Hazel for PGMN.
This proud Paralympian looks beyond the athletic life. I guess it gives importance, and it recognizes the fact that there is more to life than just being an athlete.